Creativity by Edward de Bono. Everyone wants to be creative. Everyone should want to be creative. Creativity makes life more fun, more interesting, and more filled with achievement. Research shows that 94% of young minds rate achievement as the most important thing in their lives. Creativity is the key skill needed for achievement. Without creativity, there is only repetition and routine. These are highly valuable and provide the bulk of our behavior. But creativity is needed for change, improvement, and new directions. In business, creativity has become essential. This is because everything else has become a commodity available to everyone. If your only hope of survival is that your organization will continue to be more competent than your competitors, that is a weak position. There is nothing you can do to prevent your competitors also becoming competent. Information has become a commodity available to everyone. Current technology has become a commodity with a few exceptions where a 16-year patent life offers some protection. Imagine a cooking competition with several chefs at a long table. Each chef has the same ingredients and the same cooking facility. Who wins the competition? At the lower level, the chef with the highest quality wins. But at the higher level, all chefs have excellent quality. So, who wins? The chef who can turn the same ingredients into superior quality. In business, competing with India and China on a price basis is impossible. So that leaves creating new value as the basis for competition. And that needs a more serious commitment to creativity than is the case at the moment. Too many people believe that creativity is a talent with which some people are born and the rest can only envy. This is a negative attitude that is completely mistaken. Creativity is a skill that can be learned, developed, and applied. I have been teaching creative thinking for over 30 years to a wide variety of people, from 4-year-olds to 90-year-olds, from Down syndrome children to Nobel Prize laureates, from illiterate miners in Africa to top executives, using just one of the techniques of lateral thinking. A group of workshops generated 21,000 ideas for a steel company in one afternoon. An ordinary man is walking down the road. A group of people seize him and tie him up with a rope. Then a violin is produced. Obviously, the man tied up with the rope cannot play the violin. So, what do we say? We claim that if the rope was cut, the man would play the violin. This is clearly nonsense. Cutting the rope does not make the man a violinist. Unfortunately, we have the same attitude towards creativity. If you are inhibited, it is difficult to be creative. Therefore, if we make you uninhibited, you will be creative. This is the basis of brainstorming and other popular techniques. There is some merit in these systems, but the approach is a very weak one. The formal and deliberate tools of lateral thinking are much more powerful. The brain is designed to be non-creative. If the brain were creative, life would be impossible. With 11 pieces of clothing to put on in the morning, there are 3,99,16,800 ways of getting dressed. If you tried one way every minute, you would need to live to be 76 years old using your entire life, waking life, trying ways of getting dressed. Fortunately for us, the brain is designed to form stable patterns for dealing with a stable universe. That is the excellence of the brain, and for that we should be very grateful. So, removing inhibition is of value, but only a weak way of developing creativity. Creativity is a skill that everyone can learn, practice, and use. It is as much a skill as skiing, playing tennis, cooking, or learning mathematics. Everyone can learn such skills. At the end, not everyone is going to be equally good at these skills. Some people cook better than the others. Some people play tennis better than others. But everyone can learn the skill, and everyone can seek to get better through practice. For the first time in history, we can now look at creativity as the logical behavior of a certain type of information system. The mystery and mystique can be removed from creativity. We need to look at the human brain as a self-organizing information system. Self-organizing information systems form patterns. All pattern-making systems are asymmetric. This is the basis of humor and of creativity. Humor is by far the most significant behavior of the human brain because it indicates the nature of other underlying systems. Reason tells us very little because any sorting system run backwards is a reasoning system. Humor indicates asymmetric patterns. This means that the route from A to B is not the same as the route from B to A. Lateral thinking is the creativity concerned with changing ideas, perceptions, and concepts. Instead of working harder with the same ideas, perceptions, and concepts, we seek to change them. This idea creativity is not the same as artistic creativity, which is why a new term was needed. In the English language, the word create means to bring into being something that was not there before. So someone can create a mess. That means bringing into existence a mess that did not exist before. Is that person creative? We hasten to add that what has been brought into existence must have value. So, creativity is bringing into existence something that has value. There is, of course, the element of newness because repetition, no matter how valuable, is not seen as creative. The word creative has largely been taken over by the arts because in the arts all the work is new and has value. It is true that the value is not always recognized at first. For example, the Impressionist painters were not fully appreciated in their time. In the English language, there does not exist a separate word to distinguish the creativity of new ideas from the creativity of art. So, when I claim that creativity can indeed be taught, I am asked if Beethoven could be produced in this way. The answer is no. But idea creativity can be taught, learned, and developed in a formal way. The purpose of the exercises in this book is to help develop creative habits of mind. The creativity of the art world includes a large element of aesthetic judgment. The artist judges that something is right. This is quite different from the ability to produce new ideas. While artists may be excellent in their fields, they are not especially good at changing ideas and creating new ideas. This language problem has two very serious consequences. The first consequence is that education authorities believe that they are teaching creativity by encouraging dancing and music playing. This is totally wrong. These activities are of value in themselves, but they are not teaching creativity. The second consequence is that people say that if you cannot produce a Beethoven to order, then creativity cannot really be taught. This is also rubbish. Idea creativity can be taught. As a matter of interest, my work is used quite widely in the arts world, particularly in music. Because music does not represent existing sounds, there is a great need for creativity rather than just expression. There is no sharp distinction between a mental skill and a mental habit. The two overlap and blend into each other. The purpose of this book is to provide opportunity for practicing the mental skill of creativity and developing the habits of mind that make creativity happen. Suppose you develop the habit of mind of trying to find alternative meanings for well-known acronyms. So, when you looked at NASA, you did not only think of the North American Space Agency, but of other possibilities. Not always same astronaut, not always same accent, not always same ambition, or new adventures, splendid achievements, new ambitions, serious attainments. As with a joke, the new explanation is more powerful if it links in with the existing knowledge or even prejudice about the organization. Educational establishments totally underestimate the importance of possibility. 2000 years ago, China was far ahead of the West in science and technology. They had rockets and gunpowder. Had China continued at the same rate of progress, then today China would easily have been the dominant power in the world. What happened? What brought progress to a halt? The Chinese scholars started to believe that you could move from fact to fact. So they never developed the messy business of possibility. As a result, progress came to a dead end. Exactly the same sort of thing is happening in the world today. Because of the excellence of computers, people are starting to believe that all you need to do is to collect data and analyze it. This will give you your decisions, your policies, your strategies. It is an extremely dangerous situation which will progress to a halt. There is a huge need for creativity to interpret data in different ways, to combine data to design value delivery, to know where to look for data, to form hypothesis and speculation, etc., etc. I have held academic positions at the universities of Oxford, Cambridge, London, and Harvard. I have to say that each of these wonderful institutions, the amount of time spent on the fundamental importance of possibility was zero. Our culture and habits of thinking insist that we always move towards certainty. We need to pay equal attention to possibility. Peptic ulcer is a serious condition that affects many people. Sufferers used to be on antacids for 20 years or more. There were major operations to remove parts of all the stomach. A large number of beds were occupied by patients under treatment or diagnosis of the condition. Hundreds of people were researching the serious condition. Then, a young doctor, Barry J. Marshall, in Perth, Western Australia, suggested that peptic ulcer might be an infection. Everyone laughed because the hydrochloric acid in the stomach would surely kill any bacteria. No one took the possibility seriously. Many years later, it turned out that he was right. Instead of antacids for 20 years and losing some or all of our stomach, you simply take antibiotics for 1 week. Possibility is very important, and possibility is the key to creativity.